Hello, internet friends, and welcome for our Patreons. This is a special last call of Cthulhu. We have just finished episode, I don't remember what, 16, 17? We just finished playing, and we're going to do a quick roundtable here with the players, see where their head's at, see where they think things are going, to give you a little extra content and a little insight into the characters. So let's start, everybody. Give me one moment that you're going to remember from this session. Let's start with Jonesy. I'm going to call you're not Jonesy right now, but sure.
One thing I'm going to remember, Jenkins is back.
All right. Jared, what's one thing you're going to remember from this?
Elias kicking in the door into her face. Like, oh crap, this is how bad cop goes.
For our Patreons, we'd like to apologize for some of Abe's more retrograde opinions towards women. But you know, what are you going to do? Susanna, what's your moment from this?
Actually being able to teleport, that was pretty cool. And then you know, hearing about the ship down there.
Yeah. All right, Abe,
I can tell you what he doesn't remember. He doesn't remember being rejected.
You know, you got to have a short memory in those things.
Pretty much. Just got to keep trying.
Elias?
How quickly bad cop descends into really bad cop.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
man.
American policing system.
Yeah.
That's sort of the takeaway from this episode. What do you think? What would you have liked to have seen happen, just as players? Like, you know, we all have those moments in a game where you're like, oh, if I'd only done that, or if only this had happened. So you've got carte blanche. You can change how things. What's something that you wish had happened in this session? Let's start with Susanna.
I wish I had tried lassoing Apollo. I made a snap call gun. I went for the weaker one because that felt like the one that was most likely to succeed. And I wish I could have seen what happened with the other one.
That would have been interesting. Yeah, Jared.
I mean, it's not something that I would have wanted to have actually done, but a part of me, like the evil part of me, is like, because there was a moment where I was just like, oh yeah, shank Dr. Peterson, just kill him and be done with it.
He's a pretty terrible person.
And then it's like, oh, how horrible would it have been when Elias leads Susie up to
Here's your dad.
Yeah.
That is
murdered our fathers up there, and I'm like, oh, what if I had done that? Like,
There is hope. I mean,
but it's the whole situation. It would have had to have been like, the problem with doing this sort of thing is like, then it would have been meta.
Yeah.
You would have known not to lead. I mean, if it had been done in like chat or something, it'd been like, I told you on the way out, like, I kill him, and then no one knows, then that could have happened. But
Sure.
Right.
Partridge still needs volunteers. You know, there's hope.
He could end up like Simpson. Julie, what is your?
Oh, I really wish I could have figured out a way to tamper with the chariots. I think, that would have been good, even if I could find the sun chariot before it came and, be able to go, oh yes, I couldn't help fix it, kind of thing. That would have been cool. I just feel like I didn't contribute enough in that way. So that would have been fun.
Just cut their brake lines.
Elias?
I'm actually going to say something that I'm glad that I saw, and that is giving the stones to John Yellowbird, I don't think is the solution. Or maybe it is still, hard to tell, but like after last session, I'm like, we're putting all our faith in this guy because he's sincere, but is he in control? And so I'm glad that we saw that, no, he's not in control.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Amy? I keep going back and forth.
I noticed that.
Names and character names.
No, I think my character's disappointed that he doesn't know how to destroy the stones because he still doesn't trust Partridge. And I think if we had this, like if Jenkins would have, or somebody would have told us or read the secret on how to destroy the stones, then I feel like that would have been closer to a win. Where we have some control. We're not trusting somebody because right now my character trusts nobody.
Yeah. And that's actually, I think, a common sort of Call of Cthulhu problem, where more often than not, you're sort of awash on the tide of things that are happening, and you're like, I hope this works. Well, it didn't work again. I think that's something as a GM that I need to be more cognizant of, because I think that can become a trope, and I think that's a great point. All right, so last question before we talk a little bit for our Patreons. Last question is, what do you think happens next week?
Nothing good.
Let's start with Amy.
I think that things go sideways as per usual.
That's like the fortune teller that says, like, you know,
the sun will come up tomorrow.
Yeah.
The sun rises in the east. No, I mean, the thing that I would like to see is the family get out of town. Like, the people who are not subsumed by, you know, the innocents. And again,
Peterson isn't innocent anymore. You know that.
No, he's not. But I think if we get him out of town, it might have an adverse, like, again, if the town implodes or whatever happens, if those two survive, that would be a win for Abe.
All right, Thomas.
I think that's Elias is feeling the same way. That's why he's kind of where he's at.
Yeah, guarding the door. Yeah,
to just keep them in there and keep them from.
It's like the last scene of Indiana Jones. Don't look in the box.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna go short round again.
No, I'm gonna jump on the back of a god later.
Oh, it's all gonna go to pot. Like that's the expectation. I'm hoping to get a couple of those stones on the way out, though.
Damn it! I thought I convinced you.
Well, here's the thing, and I shouldn't be saying this, but like, Jared has completely ulterior motives for getting those stones.
Okay.
He's got a direction that he's going, and he's like, oh no, I could use these for good.
I'm sure John Yellowbird thought the same thing.
Oh, he's a little more. He's less naive.
Julie, what do you think happens next week?
Wow, I actually really want to have the it work. Get the stones, blow them up, and everybody kind of goes, "Whoa, what was that?" You know, and then we go, "Okay, bye, see you later," and get out of town.
Run like hell.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't. Honestly, I'm surprised you guys haven't run already.
I think we were super close until we were like end of the world, and we're like,
oh yeah, no, right. You know, we could just let this hippie colony hang out and do their thing, but no, not anymore.
All right.
Well, I think that was definitely it. So I definitely was there was that point where I'm like, let's just leave. We're done. Who cares? This is going to run its course, which may still be the case, right? Us interfering might not have changed anything in this scenario.
Wow, that's bleaker than usual. Tiana, what about you?
Well, I would like to see what Julie said happen. What I think is going to happen is that Celia is on to Partridge and has figured out that something's going on and is going to work to undermine him or something. I think that she's a smart one. Ramses is the blunt force instrument. She's smart and might use her intelligence as a scalpel to actually get what she wants out of things. And I saw you making a note there.
Yeah. I was like,
I'm happy to go wherever you guys want to go.
I don't want to go
there.
You
don't want to go there.
I don't want to go there. I just think that's what's going to happen because no matter what we do, we get fucked. It's just kind of how this works.
And maybe she's smart enough not to blow up the world, and maybe that there will be a nice hippie colony there.
The problem with that, though, is that these are things of Azathoth. You can't use them for extended periods of time without going to the dark.
Yeah, that's pretty much true. That's pretty true.
So I think just to kind of build on that, one insight that I have, at least for my characters, is the fact that because sometimes we are like a leaf in the wind, or the fact that they are going to go to hell regardless. The question is, can my character live with my character self at the end of every situation? like
right? How do you not become a nihilist at a certain point?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because life is in some respects the same way. There's always going to be war, there's going to be famine, there's going to be displaced individuals. The question is, what do you do every day that makes it okay to continue to live with yourself?
Yeah.
Well, and that's something that Down Darker Trails this has that is different and more difficult in some way than Masks of Nyarlathotep. Because with Masks of Nyarlathotep, we knew that something was going wrong. We had a timeline, and we knew that we could do something about it. This, we don't know what's going on. We don't know how big the wider universe is, and I struggle to find reasons why Susanna doesn't run every single time.
Yeah, that's actually, as a GM, that's an interesting challenge. With Masks, you had that kind of timeline that was built in, and with the sort of going a little more freeform, I have definitely struggled to not make it monster of the week. That because that's an easy thing to fall into, and it's something that I think we'll be working on, that I'll be working on rectifying. But how do I do that without just retelling Masks of Nyarlathotep? That's the sort of the trick there. So this was a first try for our Patreons. Maybe you'll see this, maybe you won't, but if you do see it, we'd love to hear what you think about this idea. This is something we want to do for you guys because you do so much for us. And so giving you a little extra for my Louisianans, a little lagniappe lagniappe is the weirdest thing. It is this, it's a word that only exists in New Orleans.
I've never heard this.
In French, a little something extra, but in New Orleans, it means, it's like aloha. It means everything. It's the weirdest word. And so like when you go to get a salad, all the extras, that's the lagniappe bar. It's so weird the way they use it. But so a little something extra for you guys.
That's cool.
So if you do see this, Patreons, please let us know what you think about this idea and tell us what you want to see in this space, because we think this could be a neat, cool idea, but we want you to think that too. Thomas, Amy, anything? Would you like to earnestly thank our Patreons?
Yes.
Grovel at all?
Yes. In fact, we're trying to figure out how we can reach out and make it worthwhile for you guys to be patrons. We some of you are in it to give cards and help out and affect the story, and some of you are just doing it because that's the easiest way. If you listen to podcasts or you are a YouTube watcher, you can't really often contribute to the live show, and that's okay. So this is a great way to support us, and we thank you for supporting us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're a big part of the reason none of us get paid. Sorry, it's late. That was anyway. Thank you, Patreons, and let us know what you thought of this. And that was Last Call of Cthulhu.